Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Now, we have some very interesting news, people, right? We have interesting news in the world of boxing that's very important. Number one, pound for pound in the world has to be Terence Bud Crawford. There is not really a discussion about that, right? I had a few people that were coming in when I said that Naoya Inoue isn't the number one pound for pound fighter. He's a good fighter, which I've stated, but number one, it has to be Terence Bud Crawford. We won't even get into that, right? But Terence Crawford, as we know, has a lawsuit versus Top Rank. And the lawsuit, is about racism, right? And it's very important. Now, Terence Crawford has won round one, right? They were Bob Arum and Top Rank tried to get it moved from Nevada to New York or something like that, and they have to stay in Nevada where it was filed, the lawsuit. Now, a lot of people, it's America, so people won't, 50% of America won't give a damn and will think that what is he talking about, racism and this and that. But people in boxing will know that, we always ask fighters of color who have they fought, right? Right? Because you can, right? And at the end of the day, like, for example, Terence Crawford, like I've said in many of the videos I do about Terence Crawford, uh, he was supposed to fight Manny Pacquiao 5 or 6 years ago. Bob Arum was the reason he didn't, right? And the fact that everybody in the world didn't want Pacquiao to fight Terence Crawford. Now, Pacquiao could fight any other person, but not Terence Crawford. Now, what I was used to say the whole time is that if Terence Crawford would have fought Manny Pacquiao and beat Manny Pacquiao, then nothing in the way would have stood in the way of him being a superstar like he deserves. He's a star. People know he's good in boxing, but I'm talking about on the damn Wheaties box, right? Star, commercials and everybody, stuff. Star, real star, like he should be, right? And that doesn't happen. And the fact that he didn't get Manny Pacquiao, a promoter's not supposed to tell him, well, I'm worried about Manny Pacquiao's well-being, and just won't give him the fight. And then say that, hey, he's costing me money. We heard that. Everybody ran with it. The people that are not Terence Crawford fans and the ones that aren't, are just, they know how good he is and hope that he stays on the outside looking in, because they're afraid of how good he is, right? You hear it all the time. You see it right now with him and Spence right now. There's a lot of people, they're just really afraid of how good he is. He's even a favorite against Spence in his third weight division, and Spence is a juggernaut. And Terence Crawford is a slight favorite there, which tells you how good people realize this guy is. So him winning this lawsuit, even this little part about the lawsuit, is real huge. It's just the fact that it's still on the news again to remind people that it is a lawsuit about racism. Because, it's not about only Terence Crawford. We have a guy like Demetrius Andrade, who's been a champion since 2013, and they've just refused to let him fight Canelo, right? Because Canelo ain't fighting him. Because what Bivol did to Canelo would have been done to Canelo 6 years ago, 7 years ago, if he would have fought Demetrius Andrade. And the whole boxing people, everybody in boxing knows it, right? There was an undisputed fight between Demetrius Andrade and Canelo that was supposed to happen at 160 pounds. Now, you're going to tell me, and this is what I always get upset about, all these people that act like they know about boxing and talk, and then all of a sudden there's a huge drop-off, right? How the hell did the whole boxing world not see an undisputed fight between Canelo and Demetrius Andrade, and he was going to get his highest payday at the time? Didn't mention it. Start talking about Kovalev, right? And that's on purpose. How the hell is a Devin Haney, his mandatories don't have to fight him, right? Then we make a new franchise title so Lomachenko don't have to fight him. Those kind of things are extremely illegal, actually. And if this is a sport, if this is something else, maybe not. But as a sport, this is extremely illegal. And these things, this lawsuit is important to people like me that come on here, and I like boxing. It ain't my favorite sport or nothing. I ain't gonna lie like that because of the cheating. But that's why I come on here. I'm not monetized. Don't make money from this. It ain't nobody donating. Ain't nothing popping off. I do it because it's important. And the lawsuit like that would help. The only good thing about it for you guys, then you would probably, if he wins the lawsuit, you probably won't have to see me no more. But until then, I feel it's important, imperative, extremely important that we talk about things like this. No matter how many subscribers you got or whatever, you need to, because this is the kind of thing that's not sport. And there's a lot of boxers out there that are just not getting their just due. We talk about the pound for pound list all the time, but who gives a damn about them list, right? But even that shouldn't be like it is, right? So yes, Terence Crawford winning just this round one is very, very important. I can go on for a long time, but you guys know what time I'm talking about. Let me just mention one other thing. Yeah, but Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Right now we know Tyson Fury can't even come to America because of his boy Daniel Kinahan, the mob boss. His brother can't come to America. None of that stuff, right? He actually doesn't have a British license because he was doped, lied about it. We know the infamous Martin Carefoot. We know he's cheated on his gloves. How many times? Christian Hammer, one. Deontay Wilder, twice, which would be 2 and 3. And then somebody else he cheated with his gloves with. Y'all lucky I can't think of it right now. Right? But the point is, we know that he be cheating. We know that he was dope twice. And who did they say was dope twice too? Jarrell Miller. Every time you see Jarrell Miller's name somewhere, you see dope drug cheat first. Every time. Tyson Fury is a 2-time drug cheat. Do you even see that when you see Tyson Fury? No. So it's just things like that where it's time for change, period. And it's not about just favors for people of color or whatever. It's about just justice. Damn it, stop with the shenanigans. We know it's America. We know half of America just don't give a damn about no justice. But this is the kind of thing that has to happen because these are boxers and they're knocking each other's heads off. So yeah, one person should be more prominent than another. Everybody, it should be just fair. That's all we're asking here. So go ahead on, Terence Crawford. That's why you're number one pound for pound. This is another reason why you're number one pound for pound. And people, we're all over the world. We're hoping that you win this case because I think if you win this case, it'll be a game changer. Doma Sports Talk, worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.